Hey, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with the podcast for your ears. Going to be talking about the stage antics of Cardi B over the weekend and how it was much worse in the past. Before I get into it, let me first say, as long as I've been going to shows, thousands of shows in decades of years, things always get thrown on the stage. Always. Bras, tennis shoes, T-shirts, you name it. This is why we don't have cans and bottles in shows anymore, because some drunk fool will throw it at the band. So that's why over the years you've had less and less things that you can carry that have any weight to them. You get these light little cups that you would literally have to have water or alcohol in it to throw, and who wants to throw their beer, right? That's their thinking anyway. So that's bad. Don't throw things at the band, please. That being said, I've seen bands many times over the years react. Sometimes well, sometimes not so well. And I'll get to my story of all stories, which it turns out was probably not a unique event, right? I have seen bands retaliate by spitting, throwing something back. I've also seen bands avoid the hit, pick it up, make a big deal out of it, thank everybody for being a fan, making the sign, throwing their bra up there. Some bands make it a challenge. How many bras are we going to get tonight? And they hang them off the lead singer's microphone stand. So every band has a different thing, but even Tim McGraw came out this morning and said something about it's terrible. Yes, it is terrible that people throw things at the band. This has been a thing forever. In the 1980 Blues Brothers movie, they play a bar so bad they have to perform behind a chain link fence so they don't get hit by beer bottles. That's the joke. But it's been a joke that long, 43 years ago. Yeah, people throw stuff on stage. So anyway, and to get a little more into this, it turns out that she was asking people, it was so hot, she asked people to throw water on her so that somebody threw a cup at her. And the person who threw the cup has been nothing but apologetic. So the media ran with it. Now the media is kind of going back the other way because it turns out she did ask for this. But anyway, regardless, things always get thrown at bands, and don't do it. It's one thing if it's a T-shirt or a bra. That thing's not going to have any heft. It's not going to have any weight when it travels from wherever you are in the audience up to the stage. But when you're talking a full glass of water, a full glass of beer, something with some heft to it, you could hurt somebody up there. And they're making music for you, and you usually paid a lot of money to get in there. So I've never understood throwing things at the stage. So like I said, over the years, I have seen a variety of reactions from good to terrible, and probably the worst. Yeah, in thinking of all the shows I've seen, this was before my radio career. This was a Van Halen show at the peak of their career. It was probably the 1984 tour, is the best I can remember it. And they were a little buzzed on stage. We're about halfway through the show, and somebody threw a lit string of firecrackers onto the stage. Now, that, to me, that's going a bit too far. It's one thing to throw T-shirts and bras and shoes, but when you're lit pyrotechnics onto a stage that has pyrotechnics on it, right? They had a lot of fire back in the day. So David Lee Roth stops the show. I mean, just stops the show, and they wait for the fireworks to go off, and he stops, and he starts berating this guy. And I can't use the language without getting dinged here, but the language was pretty salty. MF this, F this, we're up here performing. You throw firecrackers on here. It could have set off. You could have killed Eddie. You could have killed Alex. You could have killed Michael. You could have killed me. So he told the audience to pass that guy down to the stage. Pass that beep, beep down here, and we'll take care of him. No, wait. Pass his girlfriend down here. And while that got a big laugh, it also got really uncomfortable for a minute. What if the crowd really did pass that girl down to the stage? He was pointing at the top of the arena. This was a multi-story, big square arena in downtown Atlanta. It was a big venue. There's 18,000 people in there that night. So anyway, you wouldn't do that today. That's inciting a riot. That's causing harm to individuals. That's all sorts of charges that would be leveled at him. But back in the day, there weren't cell phones that had cameras in them. And if anything told this story out of the concert, prove it, And nothing ever happened. The show continued, and it was fine. And like I said, I've seen other things like that. But saying, pass somebody down here that we're going to kick his butt on stage, or pass the girlfriend down here and we'll take care of her, I don't know. That was if that happened today, imagine what YouTube and TikTok and everybody would be talking about instead of Cardi B throwing her microphone back at somebody that threw a glass of water at her, or alcohol, whatever it was in. I don't think that was the issue, honestly, especially when she asked for people to throw water on her. Did she not expect somebody to throw a cup of water? Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, I would assume, but anyway. I am not for or against Cardi B in any way, shape, or form, other than a few radio songs. I don't know what she does. She is not my cup of tea, not in my genre of things I work professionally or otherwise. I really don't care. But this, when I heard this story, I laughed because she really needs to up her game if she wants to cause controversy by doing this stuff in concert, because I've been to rock shows through the microphone of somebody. Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot worse. So anyway, it's interesting today, though. You would think we would catch more things since everybody has a camera on their phone. And we really don't. Most shows are good. Every once in a while, Wes from Puddle of Mud or somebody does something crazy. But other than that, we're pretty well behaved at shows. Just don't throw things at the band, please. That's just dumb. Today was M. Shadow's birthday, lead vocalist of Avenged Sevenfold. That's a band that I've got to see from the side stage in a 70,000-seat soccer stadium. Amazing. To see a band like that and from the stage see what they see with the people and the lighters and the phones. And it was incredible. But even at that show, in a soccer stadium where you're really far from the stage, I got a picture of tennis shoes and other things striking the stage. A, why would you throw those things at the band? And B, the band never once, those things hit, they look at it, sometimes they'd hold it up, sometimes they'd throw it off stage, get it out of the way. Other times they just left it there. And stagehand would come get it. But these bands just continue to go. Most bands that things get thrown on stage, unless it's something that makes them stop, a big banner, a giant bra, something that makes the band stop and call attention to it. But throwing your microphone back at somebody who threw water on you when you asked him to, that seems a little ridiculous. And maybe she just wanted some TMZ. I don't know. Anyway, not a fan of the artist, but the event happens all the time at concerts. Was this your first one? Was the first thing I thought. I'm Scott, I'm ROCKFILE. Thanks for listening. My links are below. More podcasts are on the way. I got some other things about radio and pop culture to talk about that have actually come up the last 24 hours. So be on the lookout for those podcasts too. Have a spectacular day.